Pencils. The production of the world's most popular writing instrument is divided into two stages. The first stage is the creation of the leads, i.e. the writing core. The second stage is placing the leads inside a wooden shell. This video shows how pencils are created at the Faber-Castell factory. By the way, they've been producing office supplies since 1761. So, making the leads is the first step. Graphite powder is mixed with clay and water. In order to mix the ingredients evenly, they spend at least a few hours in the mixer. The resulting mixture is sent to a hydraulic press that extrudes the leads and cuts them to the required length. At this stage, the leads are soft and flexible because they still have water in them. To get rid of it, the leads are dried and then sent to special ovens. After being exposed to a temperature of up to 1200 degrees Celsius, the leads acquire the needed hardness. One of the last stages of production is bathing the leads in liquid wax, which takes approximately 12 hours. The wax particles fill the pores in the lead, providing a softer sliding of the pencil on the paper. The production of coloured leads is pretty similar. The only difference is that instead of graphite, the workers add special pigments and fillers to the clay mixture. When the leads are ready, it's time for the second stage. A milling machine is used to cut the grooves on the wooden flat workpieces. The automated machines then apply glue to them and insert the leads. Another layer of wood is placed on top, creating something like a sandwich. Two wooden panels are glued together. Then they are additionally pressed and dried. Then a special machine cuts the sandwich to give the pencil its final form. The workers then mix the paints to decorate the pencils. The company logo is then applied and the pencils are sent for final drying. After that, a worker selects a couple of pencils from the batch and checks their quality. Then the pencils are sharpened and packed. Laptop. The production of electronic devices is a long and complex process. Every electrical appliance consists of a huge number of small components. For example, this is how a motherboard for a laptop is made. Specially designed equipment for this purpose applies a copper pattern to the printed circuit board. The equipment then carefully scans the pattern to detect any errors. If the board passes the test, it's sent onto the conveyor belt. It has to go through 15 different machines. Each of them will place about 150 different components on the surface. Surprisingly, each robotic machine only needs 30 seconds to complete its task. Then comes the time for a new test. As you may have noticed, all this work was done by robots. On the other hand, the laptop body is assembled by hand. From the screen, the camera and the microphone to the hinges that hold the two parts of the laptop together, the lower half is also assembled by hand. The workers attach a touchpad, the left and right speakers, and finally the motherboard. Then they clean the surface to get rid of any dirt. They dry the elements and then attach the memory module, the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth module, the hard drive and other parts. The last component to be attached is the keyboard. After all laptop systems have been checked for functionality, it's considered ready for operation. Glass faucet. The glass elements you see on the screen can turn even the most ordinary sink into a decorative element. It may seem the construction is fragile, but the glass used to make the faucet is much stronger than it looks. And now you'll find out why. The creation of a glass faucet begins with chunks of clear glass. It's placed in an oven where it's exposed to a very high temperature of about 1200 degrees Celsius. To add color to the future faucet, colored billets are used, which are also heat treated. The next step's done by hand, and it's a very dangerous process. The melted glass is soft, flexible, and therefore different elements are formed using special tools to become different pieces of the final product. Holes are created in the handles to later add a piece of metal hardware. To give the glass the shape of the faucet, the workpiece is placed on a preheated metal mold. The glass elements are then transferred to a special oven, where they gradually cool down and lose their internal tension. All metal elements for the faucet and handles are cut with a water jet cutting machine. When these steps have been completed, the final assembly of the elements is performed. Lemon tarts. In this case, production starts by loading the raw materials, such as sugar, margarine, and salt, into an industrial mixer. Surprisingly, enough dough to create 449 tarts is mixed at the same time. First, the mixture is mixed for 2 to 3 minutes, then pasteurized eggs are added. After another 2 minutes of mixing, flour is finally added. Interestingly, the mixer works at a slow speed, so the dough won't be too tight, which might cause it to crack. The finished dough is sent to the extruder, which divides it into small pieces of the same size. They're placed in the molds, and the dough is evenly distributed along the edges. It's then sent to the oven. The tart dough is baked for 23 to 24 minutes at 175 degrees Celsius. The mold is then filled with cream stuffing made in advance and sent back to the oven, this time for 11 minutes. The almost finished product is then cooled down and sent to the freezer overnight. The only thing left to do is taking the tarts out of the molds, slicing them, and decorating them with cream. Stop being lazy, it's time to use that brain of yours. Welcome to Brain Time. Incredible facts from the past, the present, and even the future. The power of nature and wild animals, amazing facts and unsolved mysteries. You'll find all this and much more here. Subscribe now, you won't regret it.